So welcome to everyone out there on our Facebook page. Happy holidays to everyone. Before we kind of jump in and get started, we'd love to hear from you. I just want to mention that. So if you have any questions or comments, if you would post and tell us your name and where you're from, we might just give you a little shout out. But that feed below our video on the Facebook page is definitely where you can kind of ask your questions as we go through the night. So I just want to introduce myself real quick for those of you who have not been on a ladies' night before. My name is Colleen Taylor. I am the COO of Boom by Cindy Joseph, and this is Boom Ladies' Night. So welcome. If this is your first time joining us for a ladies' night, this is kind of our chance to get to know you, for you to get to know us as Boom. And we love doing these live hangouts like this about once a month. And given that it's the holidays, I just want to thank you for taking some time out. I know it is busy, busy, busy. I can certainly attest to that. And this is also my chance to hang out with amazing ladies like the two extraordinary women who are here with me tonight. So I'm going to introduce you to the two guests we have tonight, and then we're going to get into ladies' night. So first, I'm going to introduce Karen Klump. Until very recently, Karen was living and teaching in Asia, which we are all on the Boom team, all just like very impressed with that. It just sounds like such an adventure. And you might recognize Karen from our recent blog, where she shared a video of how she discovered Boom this year. So I'm sure we're going to get into talking a little bit about that, but this is Karen. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everybody.
And we also have with us this evening, Jenny Johnson. And we met Jenny because she won one of our giveaways here on Facebook. So Jenny is living proof that people win these Facebooks. So, that's really exciting. And then we got to know Jenny, and she became a Boom ambassador. And on the blog recently, Jenny shared this really cool mini facial technique that she uses with Boom that we're going to talk about a little bit later. And so I would love, hi, Jenny, welcome. So excited to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Colleen. I'm happy to be here.
Great. And so I'm going to start with you, Karen. Just if you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself. I kind of wanted to do the high level intro, but we would love to hear a little bit more, whatever you would like to share.
Sure. Yes, I'm 58. I had my last child when I was 40. Great pregnancy. Love every minute with that one. I have 7. We have a collective blended family of 7. She is the only one who got to go with us to Asia. She was just turning 10 when we moved to Hong Kong, and we were in Hong Kong for 6 years, and then into China near Shanghai for the last 3. And our organization brought us home for the pandemic in February. Not sure that we were going to be going back, and we knew about 3 or 4 months in, we were staying with friends in Memphis. We knew that we would not be returning, which was pretty hard. Transition's pretty hard, especially with a daughter who had been 10 years in going to school in Asia, but she's in high school now, her senior year, and loves it. But we're in a very, very rural southwest part of Virginia now, and loving it here. I'm from Texas, so I never thought I would come anywhere. I would move anywhere north of what Mason-Dixon line, I guess. But we're just really, really loving the community and really enjoying ourselves. And I discovered Boom, or Boom discovered me, in Memphis when I was doing online virtual learning with our students in China. And yeah, I can get into that, more of that in a little bit, but I'm totally sold on not only the product, but what the company stands behind. So.
Yeah, very cool. Well, I am so glad that we found you then. That's really cool. I love that story. And I mean, to know that your daughter was along with you for that part of your adventure in Asia, that's really special. That's really cool. How about you, Jenny? Tell us a little bit more about you.
Okay, so I just turned 60 in August. And I was born actually in Sri Lanka, but my family left there back in '61. I was only a year old. There was a civil war, and we left. My father got a job in Ghana, West Africa, lived there for 8 or 9 years, and then moved to the UK. My father was with the United Nations and was moved around every couple of years. So instead of us moving around every couple of years, we went to boarding school in England, which is where the accent comes from.
I was going to say, you have such a lovely accent.
Well, it's funny because I've been here since '85 and I'm married to an American man and I'm still hanging on to it.
Oh, hang on to it. It's delicious. It's so awesome.
Oh, thank you. Well, anyway, I studied to be a physical therapist and worked in London for a little bit and then thought I'd like to see the world. Applied for a job in Chicago and got it and did home health care there. And then met my husband, Mark, back in '85. We got married in '87 and have had 4 children, 3 in Chicago and then 1 down in South Florida where we live now. And the youngest just turned 25 yesterday.
Wow. Well, happy.
Yeah. And I've been a physical therapist, but down here I was a teacher. I'm a realtor now. So jack of all trades, maybe master of none, but
I love it. I'm sure that you're the master of all that you touch. I'm quite sure. That is, well, I have to say, I am in awe of both of you that have such adventurous and international lives. That's pretty exciting. I myself have had only for the first time ever traveled to Europe last year, and I just turned 50 this year. So I waited a long time to see Europe, and it was amazing. So that to hear that, you all have adventures, international adventures, is pretty exciting to me. How cool. I hope that we will all be able to travel again very soon too, and we'll get to see a little bit more of the world. I live in Southern California, and so who can complain? It's beautiful here all the time. But just to see something different. I grew up in Jersey, so, I definitely have that East Coast, I shouldn't say most of my life, a little bit more than half at this point. I was in New Jersey and then moved out here a little over 20 years ago. But yeah, I'm ready for some adventures in Asia and Europe and wherever I can go. So that's super exciting. Thank you so much for sharing some of that. I'm going to talk about a little bit about what we're going to go over tonight and, kind of converse about. First, I want to say hi to a couple people who are signing in and saying hello from in Facebook. Jill and Jody, it looks like from Seattle. We have Barbara from California. Oh, sorry, maybe Jody is here from Ontario, Canada. Sorry, I couldn't tell the way that was stuck there. We have Lucy from Delaware and Nancy from Nevada and Lynette from Ohio, and I'm sure lots of other ladies out there. So hello, and thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be so much fun. So like I said at the top of the show, tonight is pretty special. First, it's the first ever holiday Boom Ladies Night that we've ever done. And since it's the holidays, we thought we would try to do some fun live makeup demos. I myself have come tonight with 0 makeup on, which is a little bit daunting. I think if you had told me, years ago that I would get on and potentially be speaking to hundreds of people with no makeup on, I would have said you're crazy. But I think that's something that comes, one of the things about pro age thinking is, I feel like I just show up and I'm me, and that is enough. That is good. And so although our cosmetics are really meant to enhance, I don't feel like I need to put a bunch of makeup on anymore. And that's kind of freeing and fun. And so I did show up tonight with no makeup on because I am going to do a little bit of a live demo and put some boom sticks on in a little bit later. So we're going to talk about how we use some of our boom favorites, and that includes how to kind of create a little bit of a zhuzhed up look for the holidays, like a little bit of extra sparkle. We're also going to talk about how to inspire other women, to embrace their ages and embrace life, which we think is super important, especially as we head into a new year. I do want to remind everyone who's watching tonight too, that today being December the 8th, just happens to be, if you haven't seen already, we are running, we are in the midst of our holiday sale, and today is the last day that that you can get your Boom shipped to you before the holiday. So if you place your order today, that's kind of the deadline. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. And then we're going to get to all of the demos and things in a second, but I also wanted to mention that, oh, actually, yeah. Sorry, I just reread the same thing again. Just want to remind everyone about that shipping deadline. So actually, we're ready to dive in. And I'm going to start. First, I'm going to take a sip of water.
I think I'll join you.
I will do the same.
Yeah. Sometimes I just need to wet my whistle. Today was a day for me. And so, yeah, I've been doing a lot of talking. So we're going to do our first live demo in just a minute. But first, I wanted to talk about, just kind of bring us all into the room, into the same room, as they say, get us in the same mindset about aging in a lovely, inspiring way. And we're going to talk about aging and how to inspire other women by aging in this positive way. And that's been our goal here at Boom for the last 10 years. Our founder, Cindy Joseph, she used to say that we become more as we age, not less. So a lot of, media and ads and, a lot of the outside world kind of feeds us this idea that, especially as women, that as you get older, you become less, less vibrant, just less. And we say that is just hogwash. It's actually the total opposite in our opinion. And, Cindy really was at the forefront of getting this message out there. And, she felt like we get more talented, more experienced, more creative, more intelligent, more confident, more grateful. I know certainly I am more grateful every single day, where, in my youth, I was grateful, I was thankful for things, but I really didn't put as much intention on just practicing a way of being grateful all the time. And, just being grateful in the world, I guess, for everything that I have. And, we become more of ourselves in every single way. And that makes us more beautiful, I think. Personally, I've always found that to be the case. If you really internalize that idea, I think, you really can start living in a positive way and actually inspire other women, which is one of the main reasons that we do this ladies' night, is because we feel inspired by that message. And we really want to, invite others to feel inspired by it too, because I'll tell you, this is the first day of the rest of your life. Every single day you can feel that way. And Cindy really did that to herself. She embodied this idea of pro-age. So we're going to talk a little tonight about encouraging other women to age in a more positive way, because if you're really living a pro-age life, you will actually end up just empowering other women. Especially your girlfriends, your daughters. I don't have daughters, but I have sons. So I really do try to, teach them in a way how to treat women. I mean, that's where they're going to learn it from. I make sure they understand, I deserve to be treated a certain way. And I feel like that is just as important to teach our sons and our, the men in our lives as it is to teach women to feel that way about themselves. So I'm going to start with Karen. So I just want to kind of, let's just riff on this idea. What do you think about this idea of aging positively, and becoming more as you age?
Yeah, I think where it really hit home for me, when we landed in Memphis and we really didn't know what our future was, everything just seemed to be so out of control. And I'm not big controlling type person, but I like for my life to have order. And when we were sitting in Memphis, we had no home. We were allowed one suitcase when we left on February 2nd, and flew through Seoul to Memphis, landed at friends' homes. And I spent a month in my pajamas because everything just was so uncertain. And I thought that's when I started seeing the Boom little mini commercials as I was doing the virtual learning. And I had heard about it before, but I thought, something really struck in me to maybe start small, find some place where I can have control. And one of the things that was real important to me, I can't remember if it was a podcast, but I remember someone saying, get up, get dressed, take a shower, make yourself presentable, like you were going to go to work, and it will make you feel better. And so I did that. And when my Boom products came, I started using those. And I had stopped coloring my hair in January because I had no one in Memphis to go to. My person that I had been going to lives in Shanghai. So I started feeling that was an area that I could take back control. And with my hair changing color and the products in Boom, just really my skin started changing, and the texture of my skin was just wonderful. It made me realize that I didn't have to be in a rat race to try to make my skin be young. And I started really embracing the changes, the new wrinkles that were coming. I was celebrating those. Yeah. And like you said, Colleen, it's one of those things that, it embodies wisdom and experience. Jenny and I both have had experiences that we will carry with us the rest of our lives. And to be able to build relationship with other women and share those experiences with them, or hear, how their lives are going, just getting old is so exciting to me. Just embracing it, it's just like a release. It was almost like the burden is lifted, and I no longer have to worry about, if I have on makeup, or if my hair is, looking whatever. I can concentrate on really what's important. And that is helping other women find the beauty within, forget the beauty without. The beauty within is going to shine, show through. And to me, it's all about relationship. So yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. Again, I'm so glad that you saw our little video and gave it a try, because it's really a lot more than 3 little sticks. Like the 3 little sticks are just like the invitation into, a way of viewing yourself as being, more and better as you age, like you said. Yeah. How about you, Jenny?
Gosh, where to start? I think, age and how one responds to it is, it's such a personal thing. First of all, there's the appearance, everything starts to change and droop and, what have you. But I'm a firm believer in what you put into your body is as important as what you put onto your body. And that's when I actually, about 3 years ago, a friend of mine liked the Boom page, and I took a look at it and just loved the message, embrace your age. And I think I said this in one of my blogs, Cindy Joseph wasn't preaching or anything, just, it's a suggestion, embrace it. Less is more. And anyway, I looked into it. But I think the other factor in aging is attitude. And we're probably going to overlap in things that we say. But it's attitude and sort of maintaining a positive and youthful outlook, and embracing the confidence that comes with the life we've lived, making our mistakes, owning them, learning from them, hopefully, not dwelling on them, moving
Right.
forward, and hope, looking forward to living another day to maybe do it right the next time. I think with that comes confidence. I know my mother and her sisters and my three sisters, who are actually older than me, although when we're all together, no one seems to know who's older than who. And that's probably for a whole other show, my complaints about that. I am the youngest, but no one seems to know that because my sisters are gorgeous. But anyway, I don't know if it's a Sri Lankan thing, an Eastern thing, but the women tend to wear their age as a badge of honor,
Yeah.
With age comes wisdom and confidence. And I think that shines through. I mean, my heaven's sakes, I'm doing a live Facebook ladies' night.
Yes, you are.
I wouldn't have dreamed of doing 10 years, maybe even 5 years ago. I don't know. But, I've developed a confidence that, okay, I'm going to flub my lines. I'm probably going to say something maybe disagreeable or whatever, but hopefully, no one will remember tomorrow, but, I can learn from it and, get past it and come out of my comfort zone and grow a little bit. And, you're just never too old to try something new.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I discovered Boom by Cindy Joseph. I love the products and, here I am.
Yeah, well, we are so glad that you discovered them too. And I just want to touch on something that you said about, like, being nervous and trying new things, and or saying something disagreeable. We at Boom have this viewpoint that your viewpoint is right. If that's how you feel, it's right in a way, as long as it's not harming someone else. And everyone kind of has that, just that right as a human being to have their own viewpoint on the world and on relationships and everything. And so that's one of the things that we talk about with Boom is we're, whatever you see as your pro-age journey is right. It's the right one. If you want to continue to color your hair into your 90s, that's right. That's great. It's amazing. Does it make you feel good? Is it fun for you to, to color your hair? If it is, then it's the right thing. It's right. And so I just wanted to touch on that because I sometimes feel that way too. Will I say something that people will disagree with? And then, when you look at it, you kind of zoom out a little bit and you think, well, not everyone is meant to agree on every single thing. And that's okay. The way that it's really about showing up, being kind to other people, being accepting without judgment. I also, Karen, I think you said you started growing your hair out in January. I did too. We are a very similar shade, actually, because I was an artificial blonde for a while, and my hair is obviously this browner color. We called it mousy brown growing up, which I felt like
yeah. Yes.
mousy brown, right? But now all this beautiful silver is coming in, and I think on the first ladies' night I was around here, and now look, like I'm down here, and it's blending, and like I'm just super excited about it. And but for a long time, I mean, I have, you can see there's quite a bit of silver there. Obviously, it didn't just start coming in January, February, whenever I first stopped, I should say, going to the colorist. But I'm enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying the ride here. And I think it's kind of exciting. And again, that's like, it was the right time for me. And who knows, I may decide, what, I want to do something different, and that's okay too. And I think I'm bringing this up because on a few past ladies' nights, we have talked about the silver hair journey, and we want to just make sure we are clear that we are all inclusive. You don't have to be letting your hair go silver to be welcome at this party, because it is about embracing who you are and whatever it is you feel is right for you, whatever, if it's fun for you, right on, So that was my little tangent that I did not necessarily mean to go on, but I thought it was important to kind of point out, Jenny, when you said like feeling like, uneasy, that you might say something, you might, and I might too, and that's okay. So I want to ask another question, just to go one level deeper, if you will, on this idea of, aging in a positive way. What would you say, and we'll start with you this time, Jenny, what would you say is the most important part of aging in a positive way, or living a pro-age life? Like you said, some of the benefits were, being more confident, but what would you say is sort of one of the most important parts of aging in a positive way?
Being true to yourself. On a physical side, listening to your body, can't quite do as much as I used to, and I'm still very active and so on. But just learning each day something new, just learning from your mistakes. I think it's a wonderful age. And I have 4 children, and it was we loved it. My husband, very hands-on. We, have a loud, boisterous family. When I look back and think about things that we did, I mean, I'm exhausted just thinking about it. I watched families on planes when we could fly with 1 or 2 kids, and I'm exhausted looking. I used to travel with all 4 by myself, across to London to visit family. But so loved having them here, loved my kids desperately, but it's, now they've got their own lives, and it's actually kind of nice to now have a bit of time to focus on, things that I enjoy, things that I like. I have a wonderful circle of girlfriends here who we get together quite often. During lockdown, actually, my 3 sisters, 2 in London, 1 in Geneva, we started a little chat every morning at 9:30. I would call from here. It'd be the afternoon there. We'd have a dance party. We'd do some stretching and we'd chat, and it lasted like an hour and a half or whatever. I don't know what we talked about.
Love it.
Just lovely. And and that's all part of aging, I think, just developing interests, new ones, working on old ones.
How fun. That is so much fun. I have to try that now with my sister. I only have 1 sister, but we could have a dance party. That sounds so fun. I'm very inspired by that. She's in Chicago. My sister is in Chicago, so I don't get to see her in person very often.
And by the way, during lockdown, when you said, Karen, that you suddenly decided you had to sort of shape up and get dressed, I literally, and I think there's a lot of women out there who can probably identify, I probably went for about 2 months with my hair, clipped up and no makeup and in sweats. And then finally I said, enough, I got to get that boom beauty glow on. And I did the whole thing, and came out of the bedroom. My husband said, oh, where are you going? I said, nowhere. I just want to be able to walk past a mirror in the house and have a smiling, glowing face, looking back at me. So, I think, being true to yourself, being kind to yourself.
Yeah.
All part of getting older.
Yeah. That's great. How about you, Karen?
Well, something Jenny sparked for me, as far as being in Memphis and being in my pajamas for a month. I realized that I had an 18-year-old daughter with me, that I needed to be a better role model for her. And so making myself do the things, getting ready and cleaning up, taking my hair out of the ponytail, it in turn helped her, I think. So, I think being patient with yourself, accepting yourself as you are, and not tearing yourself up about things, about mistakes, about things that have gone either recently or even in the past, just being forgiving to yourself. It's really easy to forgive, your friend, but it's not so easy to forgive yourself. And I think you just have to be really patient and accepting of everything that has gone on in your life, whether it's dark, whether it's light, whether it's a mixture of both, which everybody has those times in their lives. Just getting to the realization that you are where you are right now because of all of that. Right. And you can't do anything about that. The only thing you can do is from this moment forward. And You know, one other thing that I think is so relationship, and Jenny, you touched on that with your sisters. Colleen, you were talking about your sister in Chicago as well. For me, something that's been very helpful is in keeping relationship when we lived in Asia was the Zoom with our families.
Yeah.
And, you know, we continue that. I continue that now. It's kind of a flipped coin because I have two very, very dear friends from Asia. One is now in New Zealand. Her family is from New Zealand, so they were transported there back to their home country. And then the other is in China, and we Zoom. We're gonna have to try the dance party thing, but we
so much fun.
oh, I think it'd be a blast. And we just have gotten together so far just to see each other and just to reminisce and just to continue building that relationship. It's the same relationship, but it's at a different level now.
Yeah.
That we cannot be together. But you know, it's just been really good to keep those relationships. So I think accepting who you are, forgiving yourself, and just keep those relationships deep. Keep them going.
Yeah, that's such great advice. And I love that you touched on the fact that you are, you know, you are passing these things along to your daughter. And I know you have a daughter also, Jen? You have one daughter.
I have one daughter and 3 sons, and I have a daughter-in-law. And I did ask my daughter and my daughter-in-law what they thought, you know, whether myself, my sisters, so my daughter's aunties, or my daughter-in-law's mother, or anyone older in their lives, an older, you know, lady in their lives, whether they had been inspired or, you know, or influenced by them. And unprompted by me, I hadn't said what my thoughts were. You know, both came with similar answers that, you know, just our air of confidence that we must portray, I guess, because I don't feel confident all the time, but we must portray it. Just had stripped away the sort of negative connotations of aging and replaced it with that sort of badge of honor mentality. You know, I've earned this.
Yeah.
And wear it, and you know, but keeping that youthful, positive outlook at the same time.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's really important. Again, I don't have daughters, but I certainly, you know, try to pass the, you know, the way to treat a woman on to my sons. And certainly one day they will have ladies in their lives that perhaps become part of our family, which will be wonderful. And, you know, I would like to also pass the same. It's, you know, as women, I think there's a certain amount of, you know, I'll say responsibility almost to kind of make sure that women know as you get older, like it just keeps getting better and better. And, you know, I think I have a little note here, and I forget which one of you may have said this, you know, talking about, and maybe it was even someone who wrote in to us, was talking about, you know, making it important to celebrate, you know, like celebrate every year, celebrate every birthday, especially the big decade ones, but even, you know, just every birthday, like celebrate every age you are. For example, I turned 50 in April. And so I feel like, first of all, I feel like I'm in the club, you know, like I'm excited about it. And it was never a feeling of like, oh, 50 is here, like never. I've always been super excited about it. And I'm kind of feeling like, well, I still got some juice in this 50th birthday, and then I'll be 51 and I get to celebrate that one. And that one's going to be a whole nother, you know, reason to celebrate. And so, you know, I love that both of you kind of touched on, you know, just really stepping into that, embracing your age and knowing that it's a confidence thing, like it's a confidence thing, and it just gets better and better. So I love that you both shared so much in that, you know, in that regard.
I think just living the life, I mean, you know, 60 when I was probably 20 seemed ancient.
Oh,
you know, and now it seems I'm young. I'm young. Right. My older sister turned 70 now. She's the one who people mistake for being younger than me. I mean, she's, you know, amazing. I wish I had half the energy she has.
I love it.
So it just, 70 doesn't seem old. I live in South Florida, so we have 80-year-olds playing tennis, it's
Yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Fascinating. That's so exciting. I'll be 60 in 2 years, and I can hardly wait. My daughter, the last of our kids, is 18, and it's so funny. I think that she's starting to understand the pro-age movement as much as I talk about it. I'm so I get just the sweetest little touch in my heart whenever she talks to people, because she'll say, oh, well, my mom is, and I'm always figuring out, okay, if I had her at 40, and 40 plus whatever her age is, she can find it, she can do it much faster than I am, but she's always been so, I don't know, it's kind of like she's always been proud of her mom's age, being as old as she is. So, that's really helped me. And I think that you're only as old as you feel, right? I mean, is that the old saying? Yeah. So I'm delighted that I'm getting to 60, and I can hardly wait to get there.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's fun.
I love that. It's such a great attitude. Good for her. Sorry, my son just came home, and so my dogs are welcoming him right now. Home. Yes, I have dogs, and I like to. When we do Zoom calls, during the day for work calls, we have several people on the team who have dogs, and as soon as one dog starts barking, the other dogs in everyone's household can hear the barking, and they all kind of get in there. So that was just like a little welcome. That was a good way to segue into the next thing that we want to talk about tonight, which is we're going to kind of get into our live demos, and we're going to talk about boomsticks a little bit. So as many watching and listening right now may know, boomsticks were originally created by our founder, Cindy Joseph herself, and she created these to bring out what makes you look your best at every age. So the Boomstick Trio, which oddly I happen to have right here, they were literally created to reveal, not conceal, your beauty. And I use these 3 little sticks every single day, and you can use them in many different ways. And I know Karen and Jenny are both experts at our boomsticks, and maybe we can share a few little tips and tricks tonight. But first, I'm going to kind of just quickly show how I use them. And not that I mentioned at the top of the show that I came makeupless, and I'm kind of like not even feeling it anymore, where at first I was like, I'm not wearing makeup. There was that little guy on my shoulder saying, not wearing makeup. And now I kind of forgot that, but I am going to put on a little bit, and I'm just going to really show you how quick and easy it is. Now, I cleansed my face right before we jumped on this Boom Ladies Night, and I also moisturized, and my favorite moisturizer is Boom Gold. Smells like heaven, like I would imagine heaven might smell. It smells amazing, and it is super lightweight, and it absorbs really quick. So I really like this one a lot, and that kind of like preps my face. It's kind of like now I've got my blank canvas. And it also, for me, I've noticed that when I have a nice moisturizer on, give it a few minutes to kind of completely absorb. It also helps the sticks, they kind of glide a little bit nicer. And so I always do that beforehand. So I'm going to take my glasses off, which I'm going to say this right now. This could be a little risky because I cannot see very well without my glasses, but I'm going to go for it. And because I'm really just going to show you like my everyday boomstick routine. And I'm going to start now. Boomstick Glow, like I said, I did moisturize already. I would just maybe put a little bit around my eyes, and I do use it as a lip balm as well. But I'm really going to start out with the Boomstick Color. And I also have my little cheap mirror right here because I didn't want to stick my face way into the camera. So I do have a mirror right here. I'm not looking away. And it's as simple as this. I start out with the color. I put just a little bit on the apples of my cheeks and kind of just blend that in. Ooh, it looks really dark. It does look really dark on the, so ladies, let me know if I need to blend a little bit more. But yeah, I just sort of blend that in, and it's going to be a little extra pink because one, I am Irish, and I have a very pinkish complexion to start with. And also when I touch my face, which we're not supposed to do right now, but when you touch your face, you know, mine tends to get a little bit pink, and then that will settle down just a little bit. So that's it, just a little bit on the apple, and I just kind of, you know, blend it back. And then I use my fingertip, and because I do like, you know, Cindy used to say that this color, well, we know it is good for any skin tone, and it kind of just gives you that look of like vibrance and joy, and it's not too heavy, and it's obviously very natural color. So I just give a little bit on my eyes. Again, like I'm also, as I said, I'm a little bit blind. All I can see is that I have red on my eyes. So hopefully that's blended pretty well. Once I put my glasses back on, I'll be able to see. And then, of course, just a little bit on my lips. And that's Boomstick color. Now, a lot of ladies use it, you know, they kind of will use a little bit on their forehead. Sometimes just if there's a little on my finger left, I'll do that, and just sort of maybe down my neck a little bit, again, just to give a little bit of color. And then, you know, I don't wear Boomstick glimmer every single day, real heavy, but certainly for that little bit of sparkle. Same thing, I use my fingertip. You can certainly use the stick itself, just like I did with the color. But I put just a tiny bit above my brow bone, or sorry, below my brow bone, on my brow bone, and then a tiny bit kind of on my, I believe that's called the Cupid's bow, little tiny bit right there, just for a little bit of extra little zhuzh on the lip. And that's just like my everyday boom. Oh yeah, I already look more alive. Yeah, so that's that. I mean, simple as that for me, for, you know, getting on a work call, running out. Although you put that nice color on your lips and then you put a mask over it right now, which is not much fun, but it is kind of fun to put a little bit on your eyes. And actually, we're going to talk a little bit later about a holiday look, and I'm going to kind of build it up a little bit. But in the meantime, I'm going to pass it over to you ladies. And I'm going to start with you, Karen. I know you mentioned in your video that that your daughter kind of gave you a little tip with the glimmer. And so I'm going to let you share that. That was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So when we were in Memphis, our daughter's name is Brady, and Brady has, she's just very creative, and she started, oh my goodness, I think she was 5th grade, watching video after video after video, YouTube we could get in Asia. And she just, I mean, blossomed when it comes to makeup. I mean, the girl could put makeup on and look more beautiful than I ever could in my entire life. She just really had a passion for it. And so I just kind of started, you know, asking her questions. And she, when my boom came in Memphis, I can remember practicing, and I remember she came in and she was practicing as well. And she would give me like little pointers and tips. And she would say, hey, Mom, what's really, I don't know if it was trendy right now, but she said, you know what's really pretty? She said, if you'll take your glimmer and put it in the corner, and I'm just going to do it here, blinded. But she said, put it in the corner. That's where a lot of the models will put it now.
I love
so that it gives a little glimmer. Yeah, just right there, you know, in the corner. So
yeah,
it's like, I can try it. Yeah.
I
guess just brightens a little bit. And then I have to put it on my lips. I just put it everywhere.
Yeah,
I just
extra sparkle.
Yeah. I've also been kind of like playing around with different places of putting it. In fact, recently I've just been putting just glimmer on my full eye. I've been seeing that some of the videos online, you know, that their whole eye, and it's really not, you know, I can make it more like what we're talking about, the holiday look. Yeah. But I mean, just to have a bit of brightener, you know, a little brighten it up a little bit.
Yeah,
So-
I love that. I love the diversity of, of how people use it, like the different ways everyone did, like since we've been kind of, meeting ambassadors and everyone kind of sharing the way that they use them, I've learned a lot of things. This is a new one for me, putting on the inside of the eye. So that's really cool. I'm definitely going to try that. In fact, maybe when we do our, our holiday look, I'm going to try that. How about you, Jenny? How do you use the boomsticks?
Okay, so actually I've been dying to get I call it my Boom Beauty Glow. And
Yay!
again, bear with me because I'm, can't
I
see.
got you.
I did my eyes, and I do have to, fiddle with my eyebrows because I have the most pitiful eyebrows. So, and I think eyebrows frame a face. So anyway, I do have my handy dandy magnifying mirror too.
Nice.
And I'm hoping you can see this as I put it on. I tend to just dab it up on the apple of my cheeks. I can see it in my screen, and then I tap it with my hands. I don't know if it's traveling across the World Wide Web to wherever you guys are, but can you see it?
More of a little bit more of a pinkish on your cheeks.
Yeah, and focus. I mean, there are tutorials on how to, get a very dramatic look and so on. I tend to like the kind of look you get when you get home after a brisk walk on a chilly day.
Right.
That
Right.
glow. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do the other side too.
I love that you go up almost to your temple. That's cool.
Sort of do. And then I just, just dab it in here, blend it with my fingers. And I do like to go up here just a little bit.
Yeah, I've done that too. I think it kind of evens out.
Yeah, you don't have to be quite as gentle up here. Your skin's not quite as fragile. And then of course, the lips.
Yes.
And I would probably, for an evening, do a lip liner to get a slightly more, pronounced.
Yeah, I love it. That looks beautiful.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Definitely.
Oh, and then what I do is I take the glimmer, and again, I think it's so important to frame the face. I take my fourth finger because that gives the least pressure, and I just dab under my brow bone and get that, sheen, iridescence.
Yeah.
I think Cindy Joseph, I don't know if I'm imagining it, called it bling for your face.
I don't know if I've heard that. I know she called it pearlescence, like it just adds that little bit of pearlescence. Maybe I'd have to check the archives for that, but
there we go. So
and
anyway,
I'm learning so many tips. I did not know that about the fourth finger. It just
a little less pressure than yeah.
And you knew that too, Karen? Well, see, I'm learning things. I love it. That's really cool.
I'll take your daughter's advice here, Karen.
Beautiful.
There we go. And that's
I'm getting confirmation, by the way, Jenny, I'm getting confirmation that from my people that Cindy did call it bling for your face. So
yes,
I love that.
And I remembered, my goodness.
I love that. You didn't even have to wait for that confirmation because I thought, oh, that might take some time for us.
There are a few gray cells that are still working then. Yay.
I love it. I love it. Bling for your face. That's awesome. Cindy was just so amazing. I love it. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing and doing that little demo. That was very fun. I'm just going to, since I kind of am looking at some audience questions coming in, if you have any questions out there on our Facebook page, post them in our feed and we will definitely try to get to them. Any questions about boomsticks? We do have one question that came in and it was a question more about boom silk. And we can certainly talk about that if you ladies, let me just see if I think, yeah, I'm going to talk, we're definitely going to go into some audience questions. Let me just see. Yeah. And then we are going to talk about boom skincare too. So maybe that's like the perfect segue to talk about skincare. So Nancy is asking, is boom silk more for the body, and then the oils, which I think she's probably referring to Boom Gold and Boom Nectar, are they more for the face? And I would say probably Boom Gold and although I do use a little bit of nectar on the back of my hands, one, because I love the way it smells. And also it's just very luxurious and pretty rich. And it also comes in a smaller bottle. I don't know if you'd want to put that on your whole body. But Boom Silk, you can certainly use that on your face. And I know many women use it from head to toe. They use it like on their face and their entire body. So I don't know that I would say that Boom Silk is not for your face, but I might say that the oils and the serum, probably less for your whole body. I use it, and I'm going to pronounce this correctly because we talked about it yesterday, décolleté. I use Boom Gold and sometimes Nectar. I use that there too. Also because I feel like that just is conveniently located right under my nose so I can smell it, because I love the way these two products smell so much. Boom Silk doesn't really have too much of a scent. You can maybe pick up a little bit of honey sort of scent in it, maybe a very slightly sweet smell, but it's kind of unscented for the most part. And that, for me anyway, is I use that for my body. How about you ladies? How do you use Boom Silk versus the oils? Would love to hear your take on that.
Well, Boom Silk is really one of my favorites. It didn't start out that way. It was maybe even one of my least favorite when I first got my products in, but I use it at night. And I use it after I've cleansed my face, and after I put on the Boom Nectar at night. And the same kind of thing, Colleen. It's all about smells for me. I love the smells of the all of the products, but particularly the Nectar and the Gold, because they just smell heavenly. But the Boom Silk, I use it at night, and I put on my hands, and I rub my hands together, and then I rub my face, I rub my forehead, and my cheeks I rub going up and down, forehead, and then down through the middle, and then my neck and my, I'll have to have help.
Décolleté. I think.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Décolleté. I kept wanting to put an L in there. So I put it there, and then the last thing I do is my hands or my arms and elbows.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful. At first, like I said, it probably was my least favorite, but it has become my favorite because of how my skin feels and how my skin feels when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It is. Yeah. It's wonderful. My skin
I use
just
it at night sometimes too. And it's for day, night. It's really not specifically a night cream, which is kind of one of the things that, that we say very often is Boom Silk literally replaces like 10 things in your, cabinet. It's, it's your day cream, it's your night cream, it's your body cream, it's your face cream, elbows. Yes. Especially now while we're all washing our hands so much. And we are also, it's just dry. It's the dry season. Well, California, it's kind of always the dry season, but in the winter, particularly when it gets a little cooler at night, I find my hands are just so dry. And Boom Silk is like immediate relief. And, and it is a little shinier when you put it on your face, a little shinier than say, some of our other products, but it does absorb pretty quickly. And I just don't put it on my hands if I'm going to be touching my phone right away or something, but give it a few minutes to absorb and you're good to go again. Boom Silk for sure. That is, really a super multitasker. Thank you for that question, Nancy. That was a great question. Let's see. We do, and I think you already answered this, Karen. Do you use Boom Silk at night? It sounds like you do use Boom Silk at night. And we have another question here asking, what is the moisturizer that, I'm assuming this is that I use first because I talked about it, and that is Boom Gold. I use the gold, and it is an essential oil blend. Essentially, it's a facial oil, and it is made of organic oils. So I feel really good about that. I know I look for that in any product is, how natural is it? And this is definitely made with organic oils. And that is what I choose to use first. Occasionally I will use Boom Silk also if I feel, a little extra dry, because Boom Silk for me is a little richer, where the Boom Gold is lighter and absorbs into my skin a little bit quicker. But again, nothing beats the smell for me of Boom Gold. It just smells so heavenly. Let's see, we have one more quick question on, it looks like it's, from Olga. Do you use a full eyedropper of Boom Gold to spread on your face? Yes, I know we say, a drop or two. I mean, you can see that the size of the dropper is so itty bitty and adorable. It's so cute. That it's really like a full dropper is maybe 4 or 5 drops. So I may use a little extra, but I also use it on my face. And then, as Karen said, I do kind of rubbing up, I get it on my neck. And so yeah, a full dropper full is about what I use. So thanks for all the questions, everyone. And I'm actually going to ask you, Jenny, to maybe elaborate a little bit. I know you also love gold and nectar. In fact, you filmed a little video for us where you talked about this mini facial that you do, where you actually use both. So we'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
Yes. I mean, that whole question, if you were stranded on a desert island, what would you want? I mean, for me, it would be the Boom Nectar.
Wow.
I love that. But I do use the Boom Gold, during the day. And what I do is, after I've cleansed, or I may even just get out of the shower, if I don't have time to do my little mini facial, if I just get out of the shower and my skin is still a little bit damp, you actually need less product, and 2 and 3 at the most drops, literally rub between your fingers. You get a bit more slip because your face is damp, and as it's drying, I don't know if it's even scientifically possible, but it almost feels like it's taking the moisture up with it into your skin, but it it dries like that. Otherwise, what I'll do, and this is certainly at night, I'll definitely do it, and in the morning if I have time, I just grab a washcloth. I mean, these you get microfiber cloths you can get at the dollar store, but I'll wet it with, oh yeah, there you go. With as hot as you can, as hot as you can get it. And then basically, while it's damp, just putting it over your face and holding it, trying to, I try to give a little pressure where my eyes are, around my cheeks, up the forehead, hold it a few seconds until it cools. And I do that a couple of times, and that it just feels like it's opening up the pores so that they're ready to absorb. And as I said, while it's still damp, you actually need less product, because
I love that.
a little more slip.
Right.
And so I tend, even with the Boom sticks, I tend to dab because I don't want to drag my skin. And once I've dabbed everywhere, then with the 4th finger, I'll just sort of blend, just and try and get it go upwards, because I guess your pores sort of go, upwards, like that.
Yeah.
So that it absorbs in. Plus you're not dragging your skin down.
Right. Which I did not know really until I started, really watching these videos and learning from the Boom ladies is I'll be honest, I would, put my moisturizer on and just sort of like, just get it on there and let it absorb, let my skin absorb it, and I'm good. But then when I, a lot of the ladies, I love that everyone is so educated and I get to learn a little bit of a tip from each person. Like, I love that while your face is still a little bit damp, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. And to, rub it in upward motion and not sort of like I did, which was just like, just get it on there. Yeah, I love these tips. I have been writing things down this whole call. But yeah, no, I think it's great that, and I love the idea of the mini facial. That is so easy to do. And so you're saying you do that a couple times. You put the warm washcloth on a few times.
2, 3, 4 times, however long I have.
Right.
I'll get it it just feels like your pores are opening up.
Sure. I'm sure they are. I think that's how they do. Like if you go to get a facial, I think they do that to open your pores.
I mean, I've been known to, and this isn't with warm water, but on a flight when we could fly, and I'd be going to London. I never put makeup or anything on before. I like to arrive and look, the part. I'm known to carry a bit of water in a spray bottle, and I'll just give a little spritz, and then do the same thing, and apply, dab, 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 and then just gently blend. You really don't need to do,
right
after you've dabbed it on, and just let it sit and absorb.
Yeah, I love that.
You know what, Jenny? This is the first time in 9 years that we have had a bathtub. We never had a bathtub in Asia. So I'm thinking I'm going to take a nice long bath, and I'm going to use my cloth in the bathtub.
Nice. Yes.
That sounds amazing right about now. I love that. So before we go into the kind of boom for the holidays, like boom looks for the holidays, where I'm going to add another layer and kind of just really have my zhuzhed up look for the holidays. Before we go into that, I just want to give you both the opportunity to, if you want to add anything else about skincare, anything that you do now that maybe you didn't do 20 years ago, we'd love to have you share any other skincare tips.
I mean, I think in my case, aside from, switching now to sort of this lovely boom products with the organic, the no parabens, no phthalates, all that, I have really focused on diet. I mean, having a large family, it's hard to, and back when they were with us, it's hard to sort of buy organic. It wasn't as easily available. It was very frightfully expensive. And now I can really focus a little bit more on what I eat, what I drink, and honestly, it's made a huge difference. I just feel I need less, I don't wear foundation, and I really didn't want to wear foundation. I used to get on clothes, and if I had a white collar that I stood up, I'd end up with, stuff on it, or giving someone a hug, greeting, it would get on their collars. So, all that's gone, but I just feel my skin has improved with what I put into my body. I truly believe that.
I love it. I love that you answered that question that way, because, people say skincare, you think, okay, we're talking about our different skincare products, and, you chose to go internal, which is amazing, because it really is probably the most important, ingredient in your skincare routine is
it is your largest organ in your body, your skin, and it does reflect what's going on inside,
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. I'll have to mirror that. Definitely. I have become a more conscious eater in my older age, and just makes me feel so much better, makes me sleep so much better. And less is more. I mean, I can remember being a teacher and doing the foundation, doing the concealer, doing, every morning. And for several years in China, I wore nothing, and then I thought, once we got to Memphis, then I was like, well, wearing nothing isn't all that good either, because you've got all of the pollutants that you're absorbing into your skin. But realizing that there's that Boom is the skincare line that has the 3 sticks, and you got it. You've got your whole day look, or you've got your evening look. And my pouch, I have a pouch that I keep in the car, in the glove box, so that if I'm somewhere that I just need a quick, if not for myself, I do a lot of it now for myself, and to make myself feel confident.
Right.
So less is more, and moving back with one suitcase made me realize that simplicity is really very freeing as well. And I want simple in my life. I want to be able to enjoy the things that I'm passionate about, people and family, but I want simplicity as well. And Boom really has needed that.
I love that. I could do with some simplifying. Sometimes I feel like, well, especially right now, holidays, like my office has just blown up with, things to mail and things to package and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, when you feel like, your surroundings, your space is kind of cluttered, it definitely, things feel more complicated. They feel, you kind of have to kind of trudge through things. And I feel like, that's an amazing story, by the way. One suitcase. I mean, when I travel, I have one suitcase just for my shoes. That's kind of how, and so I love hearing stories about, like, I really feel like as I age too, I'm starting to understand that, like, less really is more, not just in makeup, but like in all things. It's really about the relationships that you have. And, when you're a little bit older, you can look back and say, this relationship has been around for a long time. You still make new ones, you make new friends and forge new relationships, but it's really the real treasures are the ones that you've had for a long time. And and the things don't really matter as much as they used to, the physical material.
And passing that on to your kids. And now I have grandkids, passing it on to your kids that, less is more, less of everything is more.
Yeah.
The more relationship is what it's all about.
Yeah. I'm hoping my children are somehow hearing that, because they're, with the, teenage boys, like, I'm not sure I've sold that one on them yet. The less is more one, but yeah. And I also I want to touch on one thing that you mentioned, about, not wearing anything at all. One of the things that Cindy talked about with Boom Silk is that it's really, she saw it as like a protective mantle almost. Like, you put this on and you're like sort of protected from the environmental, things in the environment, free radicals and those types of things. Not that it's like, we're not making a claim of like, it fights off anything, but it's really just the feeling of like, you're putting this on and now, you can kind of go out into the world, and it's sort of this protective, because of the ingredients from the hive, the beeswax and those types of things, they really do protect your skin from some of the outside elements. So I love that you said that, I can understand how you might go from full face of makeup and say, you know what, I'm ditching all of that. I'm just going to go no makeup at all. And then, you found the balance. There's somewhere in between, and it's, with the boomsticks, because it's light and easy to use, but it still, gives you that feeling of like, you're just a little bit, dressed up a little bit, as you said, Jenny, the part. Did you say the part? I love that. I'm stealing that right away. I love that. So thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that little bit extra about skincare, and really some good insight there, especially on the, what you're putting in is really that's gonna be the biggest reflection on the outside, on your skin. So now I'm going to kind of bring it all together, and, we're close to the holidays. So I do want to talk about how we use Boom for special occasions. And I'm going to do another quick little demo, where I'm just going to I'm not going to add any more of the color on my cheeks, because I'm still sort of feeling like they are pretty colorful, but I am going to add just a little bit more bright. And we'll see if everyone can kind of notice. I know that it's sort of like I'm on camera, and I don't know how the lighting is going to pick it up, but I can certainly tell that I am, zhuzhing this up. I'm actually going to put a little bit more color on my lip.
Me too.
Yeah.
Nice. And then I'm also going to put a little bit of that really pretty pearlescence on my lip. And one thing, this is just me now, not everybody has to do this, but I get these little flyaway hairs up here sometimes. And so anything that might be left on there of the glimmer, I just put it right on my hair. I just and it lays down that little, I know that's a little odd maybe, but that's what I do. And it takes down that little, I already have silver hair, so it complements it perfectly. And then, yeah. And then what I also do that, by the way, with Boom Gold, after I put it on my face, like that's just like really good organic oils, essential oils. I just do one of these, and it kind of lays down now I have, my hair is quite fine, I think is the word. It's just it's not thin. My hairdresser told me, don't call it thin. It's not thin hair, it's fine hair. And in the winter, especially, it gets a little staticky, it sort of the static gets into it and it sort of, and that little bit of Boom Gold just through the ends and it just lays right where I want it to. So I love that. That's like a little tip. And then last but not least, and I didn't put this on earlier, I was going to put the Boom Bright on earlier, but I wanted to make sure you ladies had a chance to also share your little tips. But I'm going to put on a little bit of Boom Bright for my holiday look. And what's so cool about Boom Bright is that it is buildable. So hopefully you can hear me. I didn't realize I probably am muffling everything I say.
No, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So what's great about Boom Bright is that it's buildable. So had I put on a little layer of it earlier, that would have been great as like an everyday. You like to put a little bit of, have your eyes pop a little bit. And then if you're going out or, getting a little extra for the holidays, you can put another layer on. And the awesome thing about Bright is that it doesn't clump and it doesn't get real thick. And you can put a second or even a third layer on and really kind of get your eyes to pop a little bit. So that's, I do a little bit of Boom Bright and I can see that I have a face without my glasses on, but I'd like to actually see how that looks. Yeah, so my eyes feel a little more alive, right?
You look lovely. You've really defined your cheekbones and everything. It looks
I gave just a little extra, and I think the little shimmer on the lip. And then what I do, of course, to finish it off, I will, put a little earring in, perhaps, if I can find the earring. Of course, no pressure, right? There we go. And I even did this is what I do with this is regular everyday Colleen, and then this is Colleen dressed up. I put a little clip with a little sparkle, and now I'm holiday Colleen.
Hey.
So that was like, how easy was that? That was like another 4 minutes of, putting on a little bit extra. So so that's all I would do. Do you ladies, kind of add a little extra layer if you're going out? And I know, Jenny, you said earlier you would put a little bit of extra on your eyes.
Yeah, I would add just, a bit of the glimmer, just around here.
Yeah.
And I better match it up here so I'm even. And then, and I'm not sure if Cindy Joseph said this too, but she said, you've got bling for your face, but also you can dress yourself up with.
Yes, woo!
A necklace goes a long way, and you just zhuzh your hair up a little.
Gorgeous.
Transformation. Ready to go. You just add a little bit of everything. And glasses on so I can actually see. Oh, there we go.
Gorgeous. Wow, that necklace. Yes.
Beautiful.
Love
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Love it.
Yeah. So that's day to evening, just a little bit of extra everything. And then, some kind of statement.
Yeah. I mean, all of the, the sticks and the bright, it's all buildable, which is what I love, is that it's sheer enough where if you just want that little bit, like you were saying, Karen, just that little bit. So you feel like you're presentable for the world, you're not makeup less, which I've done myself. And when I said I'm not wearing any makeup, which didn't last very long, Jersey girls like their makeup. Let me just say that, like we just do. There was a saying growing up, like you never leave your house without your lips and your lashes. That was like the thing. You had to like have some kind of thing on your lip and like open your eyes. Like it didn't have to be crazy heavy eyeshadow, although I started using makeup in the 80s, so it was that blue, like one of our guests on one of the last ladies' night said, the blue that like your eyes enter the room before you do. That blue. Yes, that blue. So for me, makeup was always like a fun expression of, I would match it to my outfits and the whole thing. And so I really, when I got into college, I was like, I don't have time for any of this. I went completely, and when you're in college, you don't, you're young and your skin is a little more forgiving, let's say. And, I couldn't do that now because my skin would be so dry, and it's just like your skin is thirsty. You need to, you need to nourish it. And so I'm kind of, glad that I didn't stay with that no makeup at all. And I kind of came back around, and certainly, then when I found Boomsticks, I haven't had a makeup bag other than my little trio bag. I don't really have a makeup bag anymore, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
My husband has two churches that we're pastoring here in the Valley, and we go from one on Sunday morning to the other, and it's like 7 miles in between. And I have my little boom bag in the car, so I'm putting my makeup on in those 7 minutes between home and the first church. And yeah, it's just great. I mean, I have found that I feel more confident if I have something on. And, it's all about simple, and Boom has provided that.
Yeah.
Both the confidence and the simplicity.
Yeah. I love it. That's a perfect little summary of how they kind of make me feel too. I love that. Let's see. So before we jump into a little bit of Q&A, if we have any questions, now is a good time to drop them in the Facebook chat. I do want to just make one more reminder, if anyone's joining us and didn't hear me say this earlier, shipping for holiday kind of ends tonight. So we are having a Boom, our Boom holiday sale, 15% off everything in the store. Today's the day to get it, to make sure that you'll have it in time for the holidays. And I think we were going to put the link to our shop in the comments. So you can look on the Facebook page there for that. And so if anyone in the audience has any questions for Jenny or Karen or myself, please let us know. And let's see, I think, do either of you have any kind of, any parting thoughts? I just want to say, thank you again to both of you for joining me tonight. I know, like I said, holiday season, it's busy, especially if you're running two churches. I would imagine this is a very busy time for you, Karen. So thank you for taking the time tonight. It was so much fun getting to know both of you. And, I can say for myself and, the Boom team, we really appreciate you sharing your stories and your tips and your time with us.
It was such a pleasure to be invited. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm excited because I have all these new tips from both of you ladies that I get to try out now.
And for you.
Know.
And something you said, Karen, it's, I put my face on, I think, a lot for myself, not, for the confidence, and just, I want to be able to look in a mirror and see something nice. It's not like I'm dressing for someone else. I want to feel good about myself. And just that quick, dab, 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 and you're done. And it just changes the whole persona.
Yeah, easy peasy. Love it. Well, we do have, let's see, we have one question from Judy. Hi, Judy. What is the best product to use under a light foundation? I know that I don't personally use a foundation, but again, my go-to is Boom Gold because it absorbs really quickly and it is very light. So I would say probably Boom Gold. I know that you can use any of our moisturizers under a foundation, but some of them might take just a little bit longer to absorb so that you're not sort of getting that mix of the foundation with the moisturizer. That's the best I can answer that. I don't know if either of you ladies can answer that any differently. And then
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Do you wear a foundation?
No, I was going to say that I was just thinking in terms of if I wore foundation. I used to wear a water-based foundation. It was very, very thin. But if I were to wear a foundation, I use Boom Cotton in the mornings. And yeah. I put that on my face. And then I let that absorb in while I do the rest of my dressing or, whatever I need to do. I make a smoothie in the mornings, whatever. And then when I come back, the last thing I do is put on my color and my glimmer. and that's been, the Boom Cotton has been the really nice, nice for me. It's what I've really enjoyed using
Yeah.
underneath.
Yeah, it has that little bit more of a matte finish as compared to the Boom Silk. I like Boom Cotton too. I love the smell of it also. Let's see. And then they're asking if you can find it in stores. And I would imagine this is a second part of Judy's question. My guess is, Judy, that you're asking about the best product to use under a light foundation. Can you find it in stores? You can only find the Boom products at our Boom store. So right now, our boombycindijoseph.com is the only place that you can find it. Oh, okay, that was a different question. So, but anyway, you cannot find Boom in stores, not yet. Maybe that's somewhere that will go in the future, but for the time being, we are available at boombycindijoseph.com. And I just want to, I'm just going to mention this. Deborah, she just said that, for her, Pro Age is all about support for each other. And I thought that was just such a beautiful way to kind of sum it up and put a little cherry on top of this night is, I feel like I'm so grateful that you ladies are supporting us at Boom and, supporting this evening and sharing your stories. And I do, again, I thank you so much for joining us and taking time to let us get to know you a little bit better. And I hope that we can do it again.
Gosh, would love that. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love that too.
Of
You all have a
course.
very, very Merry Christmas too.
Yes, enjoy your holidays, ladies, and thank you again. And we will talk soon. Thank you, everyone out in Facebook land, and we really appreciate it. Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.